Hey guys, back again. This story is from Michael Snyder. It says Housing Crash 2.0. Existing home sales fall by the most in 6 years. We just got more evidence that a major economic slowdown is underway here in the United States. Existing home sales were down a whopping 7.1% during the month of February, and this represented the biggest decline we've seen in 6 years. This is yet another sign we're in the earliest stages of a new crisis that is eerily reminiscent of what happened back in 2008. The truth is that most U.S. consumers are tapped out, and when you're tapped out, it's really hard to get a mortgage. Banks aren't really fond of lending money to people that can't pay it back. And in recent years, housing prices in many areas have risen to levels that are beyond the reach of most middle class families. This is a huge decline in existing home sales, puzzling the experts in the mainstream media because in recent weeks they have been breathlessly telling all of us how incredibly well the U.S. economy has been doing. Just check out the following excerpt from a CNBC report. If you've ever watched CNBC, you know all they do is say how good the economy is doing, and nothing is ever bad. Even good news is bad to them. U.S. home resales fell sharply in February in a potentially troubling sign for America's economy, which has otherwise looked resilient to the global economic slowdown. The National Association of Realtors said Monday existing home sales dropped 7.1% to an annual rate of 5.08 million units, the lowest level since November. It doesn't take a genius to figure out why this is happening. In recent months, we've seen mass layoffs in the energy industry. Real median household income is still way below where it was just prior to the last recession, and U.S. consumers are increasingly turning to debt in a desperate attempt to make ends meet from month to month. If you can believe it, consumers in the United States actually accumulated more new credit card debt during the fourth quarter of 2015 than they did during the years of 2009, 10, and 11 combined. God, that's a lot of credit card debt. Meanwhile, there have been a whole host of other signs in recent weeks that the U.S. economy has entered a major slowdown. The following list comes from one of my previous articles. The U.S. oil rig count just dropped below the lowest level ever recorded. One Houston CEO told employees that he was laying off that we had entered a depression. Spring reported that 35% of all oil and gas companies around the world are at risk of falling into bankruptcy. Unemployment in Canada just hit a 3-year high. U.S. manufacturing activity has been in contraction for 4 months in a row. U.S. factory orders have now fallen for 15 months in a row. Subprime auto loan delinquencies have hit their highest level since the last recession. Orders for Class 8 trucks in the United States dropped by 48% year-over-year basis in January. That's big trucks, 18-wheelers, hauling stuff across the country. The Restaurant Performance Index in the United States has dropped to the lowest level that we have seen since 2008. The mainstream media has access to all those numbers too. So why do they keep trying to convince us that the economy is doing so well? It doesn't make any sense. The truth is that we are in the midst of a long-term economic collapse that has been going on for decades and that appears to be accelerating once again. And in particular, the middle class in America has been shouldering much of the pain. For the first time ever, the middle class is now a minority in the United States, and things get even worse for average American families with each passing year. Let's see here. The years ahead are only going to get more difficult for the middle class as the U.S. economy continues to crumble. The same long-term trends that have been eviscerating the middle class for decades continue to roll on, and our leaders seem powerless to do anything to stop them. If you're reading this article, hopefully you can see what's happening and you are making preparations in advance for what is ahead. Unfortunately, even though most Americans still remember experiencing tremendous pain during the last crisis, they refuse to prepare for the next one. In the end, the only one that they will be able to blame is themselves. That's right, guys. That's why you need your precious metals, your food storage, your bullets, your guns, all that good stuff. You know what you need, so get it. Keep stacking, guys. Take care.